So we have already started with peritoneum. Did you study the greater and lesser omentum? I asked you to study the greater and lesser omentum. Nobody is submitting answers also. Okay. So lesser omentum, I told you it is extending from the porta hepatis region to the lesser curvature of the stomach, isn't it? So in the right free margin of the lesser omentum, I told you we have bad structures from posterior to anterior. What are those? Portal vein, hepatic artery, and bile duct. I told you the boundaries of epiploic foramen, which is forming the communication between the greater sac and lesser sac. So all these we did till yesterday's class, isn't it?
Yes.
What do you mean by retroperitoneal visceral organs? The visceral organs which are seen behind the peritoneal covering. What is answering? Hemalata? What happened?
Kidney and pancreas, no?
Very good. Kidney and pancreas. Okay, greater omentum has how many layers?
4 layers.
Okay, first layer becomes continuous with which layer?
4th layer.
Fourth layer, and it becomes continuous with the transverse colon, continuing its journey as transverse mesocolon. Isn't it? See, this is the first layer, it is hanging on itself, then it comes and it gets attached to the transverse colon, then it continues as transverse mesocolon. Isn't it? The further continuation of peritoneum, what do you call this fan-shaped fold of peritoneum? This is what we are going to discuss today. What is the fold of peritoneum which is suspending the coils of small intestines?
Mesentery.
Mesentery. Okay, so today we will discuss mesentery because till greater omentum I have discussed in my previous class. Isn't it? Now, mesentery. What is mesentery? Mesentery is two-layered fold of peritoneum that is attached to the small intestines to the posterior abdominal wall. Then are you finding these coils of small intestines here? Yes? Okay. So what is the length of small intestines? Roughly yesterday I told.
5 meters. 4
Very
meters.
good. 5 meters. You can tell 6 meters also. Not less than 5 meters. Okay. So this, now are you finding all these coils of small intestines are suspended by means of a fold of peritoneum. This fold of peritoneum is nothing but mesentery. Okay, meso is the word which is usually used to represent peritoneum. Enteron means intestine. So this fold we call it as mesentery. Okay. Then now see here, the coils of intestines have been cut here. From where? See, what is the first part of small intestine called as?
Duodenum.
Very good. DJI. I want you to remember this code. DJI. Duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Okay. Duodenum is the first part, jejunum is the second part, and ileum is the third part of the small intestine. Okay. So we will have, see, mesentery has been cut. And if you observe, these coils are looking as though in old movies you will see there will be a fan, no? The heroines will be carrying like this in old songs. Okay, so this fold of the mesentery is looking like a fan. That's why, how do you describe? Mesentery is fan-shaped fold of peritoneum, which is extending from duodenojejunal flexure to the right iliac fossa. It extends from here till here. This point is the right iliac fossa. Okay, it has attached margin. The one which is shown here is the attached margin, which is seen attached to the posterior abdominal wall, and free margin is the one which is attached to the coils of small intestines. Okay, that means free margin. If you uncoil and see, the free margin will be as long as 5 to 6 meters, whereas attached margin is this one, which is attached to the posterior abdominal wall, which will be roughly measuring around 15 centimeters. Are you understanding what I am trying to tell you? This is attached margin, which is closely attached to the posterior abdominal wall, and free margin. These are all. See, this is duodenum. 4 parts I told you we will have. Duodenum. This is duodenojejunal flexure. Okay, these are the coils of jejunum. Then here we will have ileum. Ileum will open into cecum. This is the iliocecal junction. So 5 meters coil will show the attachment of mesentery. So this margin which is attached to the coils of intestines, you call it as free margin. What is this margin? Free margin. Okay. Whereas once you cut the coils of intestines and when you see this particular part of the mesentery which is close to the posterior abdominal wall, you call it as attached margin. Is that clear? What I am trying to tell you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now see here, this picture I have been revising so many times. Between the liver and the stomach, what is the name of this fold of peritoneum?
Hysteromentum.
Very good. What is this apron-shaped fold of peritoneum from the greater curvature of the stomach like this?
Greater omentum.
Very good. Greater omentum. Greater omentum is continuing with which part?
Transverse colon.
Transverse colon continues as?
Transverse mesocolon.
Yeah, then after that it starts covering the coils of small intestines. So all these cut sections you are finding this duodenum, jejunal coils, ileal coils, all these small round structures, because I told you it is as long as 5 meters. So these are all coils of small intestines. Then are you finding peritoneal covering here behind? Okay, this peritoneal covering of small intestine is nothing but, what do we call it as?
Yes.
Mesentery. Mesentery. Okay, so mesentery is, see, mesentery, this is all mesentery. So mesentery of small intestine suspends the small intestine from posterior abdominal wall. Okay, so it is broad and it is fan shaped. Okay, root of the mesentery, the one which I told you which is attached to the posterior abdominal wall. I've shown you in my previous picture. What is the length of this picture? This one I told you this is attached to the posterior abdominal wall. So what is the length of this? 15 centimeters. Okay. Are you understanding? Root of mesentery is measuring 15 centimeters and it is directed obliquely downwards from the left side of L2. That means duodenojejunal flexure, roughly this point. From here it is extending up to sacroiliac joint like this. Okay, that is root of mesentery. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now contents. Now when you see the contents of mesentery, so when we study abdominal aorta, so basically now you have to understand like GIT small part. So in the GIT during the development we have 3 subdivisions like foregut, midgut and hindgut. Okay, we have 3 subdivisions in during the development of gastrointestinal tract. In the embryological development, we have 3 subdivisions, foregut, midgut, hindgut. Now why I am talking about this because the artery of foregut is iliac trunk, please remember. The artery of midgut is superior mesenteric artery and the artery of hindgut is inferior mesenteric artery. This is basic thing which will help us to remember the blood supply of all abdominal visceral organs. Okay, I'm repeating. During embryological development in the gastrointestinal tract, we have one tube which is subdivided into 3. Okay, anteriorly we have foregut, then midgut, then hindgut. Understanding? Hemalata.
Yes, ma'am.
So the artery of foregut is celiac trunk. Make a note. Artery of foregut, celiac trunk. Artery of midgut, superior mesenteric artery. Artery of hindgut, inferior mesenteric artery. Now, because the small intestine is a derivative of midgut, you will see it is supplied by superior mesenteric artery. When you just try to dissect the mesentery, you will see rich network of blood vessels, okay, which are the branches of superior mesenteric artery. So the contents of mesentery are, now what is the name of this fold of the small intestine? C fold.
Duodenum.
Very good. Duodenum. DJI. I want you to remember. Duodenum. Okay. Then what are these upper two-thirds coils? Jejunum. Okay. And lower coils are ileum. Where is the ileum opening?
Large
Cecum.
intestine.
Large intestine. Very good. The first part of large intestine, what we see here is cecum. Iliocecal junction. Okay. Now, obviously, the superior mesenteric artery, is it giving branches to the duodenum? Yes. Okay, it is giving the branches to DJI, you remember. It is giving branches to duodenum, it is giving branches to jejunum, it's also giving branches to ileum. Okay, so it has contents of mesentery, you will see jejunal branches and ileal branches. Apart from this, we also find the nerve plexuses. We will find lymphatic vessels, we will find lymphatic nodes, connective tissue and fat. Okay, all these are contents of mesentery. Does anybody remember what are the contents of greater omentum? These names were same. Nerve plexuses, lymphatic vessels, lymph nodes, fat. Isn't it enough? Only one thing was different there, greater omentum. I am sharing my PowerPoint also so that you study. Here you are finding jejunal and ileal branches of superior mesenteric artery, no? There what do you find? Right gastroepiploic and left gastroepiploic artery as contents in greater omentum. Revise, go and study, then you will understand. Now see, this is all mesentery only, and you are finding such rich network of blood vessels, which are the branches of superior mesenteric artery. They are forming, all these are actually called as arterial arcades, windows, arterial. We will discuss when we go to small intestine lecture. The coils of small intestines are being pulled so that you can see this fan-shaped fold of peritoneum. What is this fold of peritoneum which is suspending small intestine?
Mesentery.
Mesentery. Okay. Now, always I told you we have to add the word meso in order to represent fold of peritoneum. If it is the fold of peritoneum which is suspending appendix, then what do we use the word? Mesoappendix. Is that clear? Fold of peritoneum which is suspending the appendix is called mesoappendix. Okay, so it is triangular in shape and it is extending from, see, this is the ileum which is opening in the cecum. Just now I told you, ileocecal junction. So it is actually extending from the terminal part of the ileum and it is moving up to the appendix, this whole thing. Okay, so this whole thing is mesoappendix. It may come as 3 marks question. Mesoappendix. Okay, so if you just check, it will have one blood vessel, red colored artery is seen. That is nothing but appendicular artery. Okay, which is running in the free margin of mesoappendix. Okay, so appendicular artery is also one of the branches coming from the superior mesenteric artery, what we saw in mesentery. Okay, then now what is transverse mesocolon? Meso means peritoneum. The fold of peritoneum which is covering the transverse colon is called transverse mesocolon. Is it clear, beta? Now, transverse mesocolon, see, below like greater omentum, fourth layer of the greater omentum has continued and we know it has covered the transverse colon and its further journey is now called as transverse mesocolon. Okay, so it is broad fold of peritoneum which is covering the transverse colon. Now, if you further see, once you have lifted stomach, you are finding there is one organ here. This is actually pancreas, which is found in the C fold of duodenum. See, after, see, this is the pyloric part of the stomach, and this is actually duodenum. Duodenum. Within the C fold of duodenum, you are finding there is one organ. What is the name of this organ? Pancreas. Okay, so now why I'm talking about pancreas is transverse mesocolon is continuing its journey and it is taking its attachment on the anterior border of pancreas. Okay, fourth layer of greater omentum is covering the transverse colon. Now it is continuing as transverse mesocolon. The same transverse mesocolon is now attached to the anterior border of pancreas. Is that clear?
Mm.
Okay. Now coming to the contents, what do we have in this transverse mesocolon? It has blood vessels, it has nerves, then it will have lymphatics of transverse colon. Okay, very simple. All these mesentery, transverse mesocolon, mesoappendix, all these are short notes, are very short notes. Greater omentum and lesser omentum will usually come as 5 marks question. Okay. Then, now see here, now we know like we are talking about gastrointestinal tract. To know the parts of GAT, we have started with what? Mouth. Then what do we have? We have studied the details in thorax, the tube which is passing the food. Parts of GAT. What are the parts of GAT we have?
Esophagus.
Esophagus. Then mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, isn't it? So, in the small intestine, just a minute, I'm getting one call. Okay, sorry for the interruption. So now see here, if you see the large intestine, so we know the coils of small intestines are duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So ileum is now continuing its opening in the cecum. So at the cecum you also have a blind projection which is appendix. Then we have ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum which continues as anal canal. Are you able to hear me, all of you? Hemalata?
Yes, ma'am.
So now see here, again now see the now what is this I said? Ascending colon. This one? Transverse colon. What is this?
Descending.
Descending colon. What is this S-shaped?
Sigmoid.
Then rectum anal. Now see here, the part of the peritoneum which is suspending the sigmoid colon is called sigmoid mesocolon. Okay, so this is sigmoid mesocolon. So sigmoid mesocolon, which is nothing but fold of peritoneum which is suspending the sigmoid colon to the pelvic wall. Now you are not using the word posterior abdominal wall. Instead, we are now using the word pelvic wall. Okay. Now what do we see inside? So here we will see sigmoid vessels, lymphatic vessels, and nerves. Then we will talk about ligaments of peritoneum. Now see here, I will bring a picture of what folds of peritoneum we have studied till now. So we started our reflection from where? The parietal peritoneal reflection. Where did we start with? Which part? Umbilicus.
Liver.
You remember? I started with umbilicus. So the journey to start with umbilicus here, if you go, I told you it is going to the liver and is running between the two lobes of the liver. What is the name of the ligament we have discussed?
Falciform ligament.
Falciform ligament. The extension of this ligament, that means when you have started from umbilicus till falciform ligament, the name of the peritoneal fold is ligamentum teres. What is the name of the fold? Ligamentum teres. Okay, to start with from the umbilicus till the falciform ligament, you call it as ligamentum teres hepatis. Okay, so the ligamentum teres is now continuing as falciform ligament. Do you remember I told you it is now continuing below the diaphragm as coronary ligament?
Yes.
Yes. Now, the edges of coronary ligament, you see here, we have one margin here which is like a triangle. On the right side, you call it as right triangular ligament. And on the left side, we have left triangular ligament. Okay. Now, see, overall, when you see, I will show you the list later. First, we should see the ligaments. It becomes clear. From the umbilicus till the falciform, we have used the word ligamentum teres. It is actually a remnant of the umbilical vein. In the placenta, we will have two arteries and one vein. Okay, so that vein is now like regressing immediately after birth, and now it is named as ligamentum teres. Okay, the obliterated umbilical vein. Okay, that is nothing but ligamentum teres. That ligamentum teres is now continuing its journey between the two lobes like falciform. Here you have coronary, then right triangular, left triangular. Coronary is completely covering the liver. Now, this is actually the posterior surface and the inferior surface of the liver. Now, if you observe this picture, then you are finding like there are cut sharp margins here. This is actually the covering of coronary ligament. Okay. So the coronary ligament will have superior layer and inferior layer. Okay, two layers of coronary ligament beta. Okay, and actually this is the area which is not covered with peritoneum. Okay, so that's why I told you whole of the liver is covered with peritoneum except for few areas which are actually called as bare area. Bare area. Bare area is a word where we do not find any peritoneal covering. Now that peritoneal reflection is continuing. You are finding superior layer, inferior layer. In between, you don't find the extension of peritoneal covering there. You call it as bare area of the liver. Okay. Then are you finding some more peritoneal like layers over here. This is actually visceral surface of the liver or inferior surface of the liver. So adjacent, this is inferior vena cava. Okay, the vein what you are finding here is inferior vena cava. Adjacent to this, you are finding one fold of peritoneum. We call it as ligamentum venosum. What is this? Ligamentum venosum. You remember I told you from the inferior aspect of the liver, the lesser omentum is extending to the lesser curvature of the stomach. But I have used one word called as porta hepatis. Porta means entry exit point, I said port.
Mm.
Do you remember yesterday's class?
Yes.
So this is actually called, this area is porta hepatis. Again you are finding VAD structures, VAD. What is this? V, portal vein. A,
Hepatic artery.
hepatic artery, and D, bile duct. Okay, and this area is actually porta hepatis. The margins of porta hepatis is giving attachment to one peritoneal covering. That is nothing but lesser omentum. Okay, what is this? This is nothing but lesser omentum. Margins of porta hepatis gives attachment to lesser omentum. Okay, now see all these ligaments are, now we can read, you will understand. See, we have seen falciform ligament, we have seen ligamentum teres, okay, remnant of the umbilical vein. We have seen the coronary, right triangular, left triangular. We have already seen this hepatogastric and hepatoduodenal ligament as thickening in the lesser omentum, isn't it?
Yes.
You need to read better, without which there cannot be continuation of class. All of you remember thickening from the duodenum to the liver. I told you the thickening in the lesser omentum is hepatoduodenal ligament, and thickening from the liver to the stomach you call it as hepatogastric ligament. Okay. So all these are ligaments of liver. Ligaments of liver itself can be 5 marks question. You should be able to tell. So this is falciform ligament, okay, which is a double layered peritoneal layer, which is stick in shape, which is extending from the umbilicus to the liver, okay, and actually it has started as ligamentum teres, which is nothing but obliterated umbilical vein. Coronary ligament is the one which is seen below the diaphragm, the area between the upper and lower layer. I told you, see, this is the superior layer of coronary ligament. This is inferior layer of coronary ligament. That means if the peritoneum is coming like this and completely covering and then going behind. Okay, because it completely covers the liver, except for bare areas, I told you, except for bare areas. So coronary ligament is lying between the upper and lower. See, this is the upper layer of coronary ligament. This is the lower layer of coronary ligament, in which you have this area where you do not have any peritoneal covering, which is called as what?
Very.
Bare area of the liver, which comes directly in contact with the diaphragm. Okay. So what are these edges called as? What are these edges of coronary ligament called as? Margins. Triangular ligament. Right side you call it as right triangular, and left margin you call it as left triangular ligament. Okay. Now see, this is the posterior view. Whole peritoneum has covered the liver. This is coronary actually. You can call superior layer or inferior. You can also use the word anterior coronary and posterior coronary. In between you are finding area which is not covered with peritoneum. This is what is called as bare area. Okay, bare area. Is it clear, beta? You are understanding this picture? From porta hepatis region, actually lesser omentum is removed. Actually from here you will see there will be extension of peritoneum. From porta hepatis to the lesser curvature, you will have lesser omentum. Okay. I told you these two thickenings yesterday also. What is the name of this thickening? First part of the duodenum to the liver. What do we call it as?
Hepatoduodenal ligament.
Very good. Hepatoduodenal ligament. You are finding one thickening from the stomach to the liver also. What do we call it as?
Hepatogastric.
Hepatogastric ligament. Okay. Same thing is shown. This is from the, now Now you have understood what is porta hepatis. So from the margins of the porta hepatis, we will see the starting of lesser omentum, which extends up to the lesser curvature of the stomach. Okay. Now see here, now this section we will try to understand. Now this section has been taken at L1 vertebra roughly. Okay. Now this is our body wall. So in the body wall, what are we finding? What is this organ here? This is liver, isn't it? I'm helping you to get oriented. This is liver, this is stomach. These are two kidneys. Okay, beta? Right kidney, left kidney, abdominal aorta, inferior vena cava. Okay. Then you are finding one visceral organ here on the left side behind the stomach. You will find spleen. Okay. Now, are you finding the spleen has connection anteriorly with the stomach and posteriorly with the left kidney? Can you see these two connections? Yes. These are also peritoneal folds only. The connection between the stomach and spleen, you call it as gastrosplenic ligament. Okay. This spelling mistake, beta, this should be R, not I. Gastric. Gastro means stomach. This is gastrosplenic ligament. Then here, the connection between the spleen and the left kidney, we call it as splenorenal. Also called as L, Lenovophone. Lenorenal. Lenorenal or splenorenal. Anything can be given in your book. Okay. Then, understood, Buddha?
Yes, ma'am.
Now see here, we know all of this liver is covered with peritoneum. There is a space between the right kidney and the liver. This is right kidney, isn't it? This liver is present in which side of our body? Right side. So this becomes right kidney. So between the liver and kidney, are you finding there is one small recess? Small space? We call it as hepatorenal recess. You remember, like for the lung also, we had postodiaphragmatic recess. Wherever extra space is there, wherever space is there, we generally use the word recess in anatomy. Isn't it better? So this is actually present between the liver and the right kidney. So what is the name of this recess? Hepatorenal recess. Okay. Actually, there is one more word used to represent this recess. We can also use the word hepatorenal pouch or Morrison's pouch. What is the other word used? Morrison's. M-O-R-R-I. Morrison's. S-O-N apostrophe S. Morrison's pouch or hepatorenal recess. Are these ligaments which are shown on the screen, are these clear, beta? Now actually you can see spleen here, beta. Now you have cut at the greater curvature of the stomach. You have lifted from the greater omentum. This is the stomach. Posterior aspect of the stomach is showing which organ is this? What is this organ, beta? I told you. Transverse mesocolon was attached to the anterior border of this organ.
Pancreas.
Very good. Pancreas. Within the C fold of duodenum, we have pancreas. So the tail of pancreas is ending here. What is the name of this organ you are finding?
Yes,
Spleen. Okay. So the connection between the spleen and stomach. What is the name of this connection?
gastrospleen.
Very good. Gastrosplenic ligament. Okay. Then see, what is this partition between thorax and abdomen called as?
Diaphragm.
Diaphragm. So see, this is all diaphragm only, and this is our transverse colon, which is moving like this. This is all colon only, transverse colon. So between the diaphragm and colon also, you are finding peritoneal connection. You call it as phrenicocholic ligament. Yes, beta. Okay. Which dome of diaphragm is this? Left dome. Because stomach, spleen are found on the left side only. Okay. So that is phrenicocholic ligament. Phrenicocholic ligament. Okay. So this is again like whatever I told you already. This is stomach, spleen. The gastrosplenic ligament is connecting the fundus of the stomach and hilum of spleen. Okay. So in the gastrosplenic ligament, we will see short gastric artery, left gastroepiploic vessels. All this we will elaborate again when we are doing blood vessels. Nothing to worry. But suppose if questions come like this for 2-3 marks, then you should be able to write. Okay. So splenorenal, I also told you it can be called as glenorenal also, extending from the hilum of spleen to the kidney. It contains the splenic vessels, lymphatic vessels, lymph nodes. It also receives the tail of pancreas. Okay, nerves also are found. Okay, so those are the ligaments of spleen, which I have of course explained very well. Now ligaments of stomach, hepatogastric. I already told you hepatogastric. Now gastrosplenic is between the stomach and spleen. Gastrophrenic, that means between phrenic means diaphragm. That means see this is our whole thing is diaphragm only. Connection between the stomach and diaphragm you call it as gastrophrenic ligament. Gastrophilic means between the stomach and the behind we have colon. No, I hope you got oriented now. Here you have all